Is this video for sailing and entertainment purposes only? You're dang skippy it is.
Who's your favorite reaction channel? Somebody asked. Karina.
Yeah, Frank. That was a lie.
Isn't this a surprise?
What advice would you give Amber's future girlfriend? Simple. Just don't go there. Bland chili confirmed.
Tea.
Nurse, clear my schedule.
With Karina Kaboom. What's wrong with Karina Kaboom? She's a nice lady.
My husband!
You doing out here?
Hello everybody! In today's video for the low introductory, low price sale of absolutely nothing, you heard it here last. So Beck, Amber's ex, has actually exposed Amber for another lie, lying for 5 years. This took me a little while to be able to definitely prove that Amber was lying, so I needed to do a little bit of Kermit research, but we have it here now. That's right. Amberlynn has been lying about something else for 5 years. Yesterday, we discussed how Amberlynn completely lied about FBI Frank, pretended that the FBI came to her house about bad comments, when in reality, she didn't even have a Kermit. Okay, well, maybe you should go to Cleveland with your friend Foodie Beauty. I heard that she got a new job at the steaming company. So basically, Amberlynn also posted a very disturbing TikTok, a series of disturbing TikToks. And the first TikTok she actually deleted. And in my opinion, it was a manipulation tactic to get everybody's attention away from Beck exposing her. Rinse, lather, delulu, Kermit, repeat. We're going to get into it if you could not tell already from this ridiculous intro. As always, all of my videos are for entertainment purposes only and not meant to be taken seriously. I'm only sharing my own opinions, not facts, on publicly accessible information made public by public figures. I would urge you to please do not go to these people's channels and leave the mean-spirited, negative, disparaging comments.
What's the real reason we didn't go to Lexington Pride that one time? Well, we spent all day out and about doing stuff that that was the day before. The next day, whenever we were supposed to go to Pride, it was too hot and she didn't feel like going out. So I was just like, I can't argue this. So I stayed with her. I mean, that's usually what I did. I just stayed with her.
Right, so it took me a while to find Amber's video. So in this video, titled Bad News, wonderful thumbnail, Amber, the main reason that she gives is, quote, "The fact that Pride is downtown, Beck is not good with driving, has a lot of anxiety about driving. I really wanted to go to Pride, but I would never take away the fact that Becky isn't doing that great," right?
I bet you're a lot of fun at parties.
Numerous excuses as to why Amberlynn said that she did not attend Pride. Eric said it was hot. Becky is not having a good day right now. Becky doesn't want to drive. Eric has blisters. Eric said the protesters were screaming, "I wore the wrong shoes."
Oh, because it could happen.
You know what Amberlynn likes to do? She likes to play ball in the neighborhood of the truth, but she doesn't know how to get there. Okay, so basically, all of those things could have been technically true, but that is not the actual reason why they didn't go to Pride. So she blatantly lied. I mean, I personally think that the FBI Frank lie is the most damaging one. This one is going to be just like a petty lie. The FBI Frank lie is just very damaging because she literally, as an adult, made up lie, wild story that the FBI contacted her and decided to go ahead and monetize that. By the way, if you know anything about body language, and this is all I will say, by all means, go and check out that old video from 5 years ago where you can clearly tell from her body language that she is blatantly lying. So what bothers me the most in this situation is how she very blatantly, mainly blamed it on Beck. She used to do this all the time when she had that live stream era. In 2021, she would do these live streams. And when she didn't want to come on twice a week, her whole job was twice a week, she would be like, "Oh, well, Beck is having a bad day. Beck can't do it. I'm gonna support Beck and I'm gonna put them first," and all this other stuff. Okay. The bottom line is, if you look at at the surge of all those excuses, what you will mainly find is that Amberlynn blamed Beck for it. You thought it was hot. You lied to your audience. I had remembered that there was a very big controversy surrounding why they all didn't go to Pride, because people didn't believe Amber's story. Now you know she's been lying for 5 years, on top of the other lies that she's been telling. My favorite one is the FBI Frank.
Excuse me, have you been watching Amberlynn Reid?
What she did in this video is something that she has done for a long time, and she isn't doing this a lot now because honestly, a lot of people have been calling her on it, and I've made lots of videos pointing out that she does this, so now she lies in different ways, but she has just recently done this with being the famous dancer choreographer.
My husband!
What you saw there is she gave a lot of different excuses. Basically, her rudimentary manipulation tactic that she loves to use is give a lot of details to divert attention away from the truth. She's trying to shift your attention from the topic at hand, so you start paying attention to different details so the truth can be buried with a bridge of Kermit's, okay? Eric had blisters. Eric had said that the protesters were screaming. And by the way, it was so hot, and Beck had anxiety, and I would never want to do that to Beck. And, and I wanted to go, but then also, like, there was so much traffic. I'm like giving examples or whatever, right? You see how a person is telling you they did not go somewhere and they are going to lie to you about what it is the facts are. So what Amber did in this situation is something that she has done for years. It's a very basic, rudimentary manipulation tactic. Add extra details that don't actually have anything to do with the story. For example, why didn't I go get tested for something? Oh, well, I had bumped my knee and then I saw a cute cat in an alleyway, and then I saw my neighbor who was carrying 7 packages of, from a store that I didn't know. See, the idea is this, the rudimentary, very basic manipulation tactic that Amber uses is she's lying.
Hey, girl.
She didn't want to go to Pride because it was hot. And Beck says that they just had to deal with it, okay? That was the main reason. Amber didn't want to be uncomfortable. Instead of just saying that to her audience, or how about this? Not saying anything at all, Amber made up a bunch of different stories. There's always a lot of details to confuse you away from the main storyline so that the other details cloud your mind and, most importantly, divert your attention away from what Amber really was saying, which is she didn't want to go. So she blatantly lied, saying that she wanted to go. And I know that someone is going to say this was 5 years ago. I'm going to put it to you like this. Amberlynn has lied for the entirety of her career on YouTube about important things and non-important things. The FBI Frank situation, she lied about for 2 years. This situation, she lied about for 5 years. It's the lying about it. She only lied about it because she knew that if she were to take away, Beck's experience and people's experience just because it was hot, well, Amberlynn, you knew it was going to be hot. Why did you bother going? That's the famous series of videos where she was making comments about, what she thought about short hair and all this other stuff towards Beck. She's been lying for 5 years, and honestly, it's just wrong. I just think, my opinion is no, people should not be able to post videos that they earn revenue from, that they're lying in continuously. And sometimes people come here and they're like, hey, who cares? Oh my God, Amber lied. Yeah, she's a public figure earning revenue on lies, which is just ridiculous. Okay. Before I show you how Beck has shaded Amber and highly implied that Amber took their money on their community page, I wanted to show you Amber's first social media post that's now been deleted by Amber.
Isn't this a surprise?
After Beck exposed her for lying for years on end, that FBI Frank was a lie and that she lied about Pride and all this other stuff. So this is my personal opinion, okay? I believe this is a response. You don't have to agree with me, but this is, listen, Amberlynn has had 10 years of social media training. She knows that everyone is looking to see what is the first thing that she's going to post after being exposed by an ex. When Casey exposed her, first thing she posed was, "Oh, I'm thinking about what you're thinking about." Okay, this is the first thing she knows 100% people are looking to see what she's going to post. This is the first thing that she posted and promptly deleted. Okay. It was a TikTok where she was complaining about her childhood, and she actually said that she was highly mistreated. I'm not going to say the word, but like she said that she was highly mistreated when, earlier. But wait, there's more. So she posted this TikTok about how badly, she had it. And in the same breath as she deletes that TikTok because she got a bad response for it, she immediately posted TikTok smiling and laughing and talking about how she's here for the girls, but all the guys are, like making passes at her, really want her. Okay, I'm not even gonna, like, of course. Everybody wants you, Amberlynn, of course. That's not even the point. How absolutely jarring it is to see a person come onto YouTube and fake cry about what happened to them, like at an earlier date, right? And then in the same hair and the same makeup, she filmed one right after the other, laugh and have a great time about how they just like have so many men wanting them and they're here for the girls. Which one is it? It comes off as incredibly disingenuous. And yes, people can have various different emotions one after the other. However, if you are going through something difficult in your life, why would you set up a camera and film it? And then the next moment it's, oh, everybody wants me. It's disingenuous. Like, you understand what I'm saying? She was filming how badly she had it and she was crying. And the next moment she's laughing. She's having a good time because so many people are asking her out. But, she's here for the girls. Disingenuous. I want to say this. I am very sensitive to what Amberlynn has gone through. Those of you that have been watching me know that I always wish her all the best. I'm glad she's reconnecting with family. And, I feel sorry that that happens to anyone when they're younger, when they have a bad upbringing. I understand what happened to her, but she is the only person on the internet that I know of that continuously uses this as an excuse to lie and treat people badly and mistreat people. Plenty of people in the comments here who went through similar things that do not treat other people badly. So here's the thing. In my video yesterday, I said that once she is exposed by Beck, she will immediately go on the internet and start saying that she is a victim of some sort, that, okay, this happened, something soul crushing is happening. All of this is done in order to pretty much divert your attention to something negative that happened to her before. She does a rudimentary manipulation tactic, another one where whenever she is exposed or does something bad on the internet, the first thing she posts on the internet is that she's going through something soul crushing or something happened to her when she was, years ago, and you should feel sorry for her. This is done for one reason only, to manipulate the audience's attention away and divert the audience's attention away from the horrible things that she has done so that you could pay attention to what happened to her 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's terrible what happened to you, and I do feel sorry for you, but it's not a justification as to why you have mistreated the majority of your partners. Okay, so before Beck did that live stream, they started hearting comments on their community page, and here are those comments. All right, so here are two statements made on Beck's community page post that Beck liked. This is the most damaging one. Do a snowflake interview. Bet he'd share the money more than Amber ever did. And Beck liked that comment.
Bring it on!
The other one is, I don't know if you'd ever be up to it, but you should interview with Mr. Snowflake. There's plenty of well-deserved money in that for you. Beck liked that comment. Yeah, Mr. Snowflake, go and interview Beck. Here's the thing. Obviously, this goes without saying, but it is my personal opinion that when somebody hearts a comment, they agree with it, because if you go through YouTubers' comments, you will see that there's a lot of stuff that people do not heart. Like, for example, I sometimes see comments on my comment section that I let people have their say, but I'm not going to heart certain things like that I just don't agree with or whatever. But at the end of the day, Most people do know that when somebody hearts a comment, they like it or agree with it or heart it, right? So this is how Beck has shaded Amber. Do a snowflake interview. Bet he'd share the money more than Amber ever did. What is this about? Okay. I've talked about this here before a few times. When Amberlynn had her ex, Beck, in the live streams in 2021, I feel like a girl of 2021 again. Beck was the reason, in my opinion, that Amberlynn got the views on the live streams. As somebody who works here, I can tell you Amberlynn would have gotten way less views on those live streams. I'm not saying she wouldn't get good views. But Beck interacted with the audience, was more liked at that point for breaking up with Amber, and just made the live streams more tolerable, more watchable. Anyways, so just remember that Beck was the catalyst. I love the word catalyst.
I didn't shower, but I don't think that bad.
That's okay. Neither did I.
The catalyst to earning Amberlynn more money, okay, in those live streams. Amberlynn promised privately and publicly to Beck that she would pay Beck what she owed Beck, okay? And that never happened. It was Never Happened magazine, www.never actually happening, okay? What am I talking about? Beck had said before that didn't see a penny of that money. Also, here's a fun fact. When Beck actually moved out, if you don't know what had happened was after Beck broke up with Amberlynn, 2 weeks later, Amberlynn was already in a new relationship with the now ex-wifey, riveting. And Amberlynn moved in an internet stranger into her house and Beck's house. She later said, Amber later literally has a video where she says, it was my apartment. No, it was both of yours apartment. Beck's name was on the lease. So my opinion, this is just an opinion, Beck felt really uncomfortable living with a stranger from the internet and ran away to her friend's house and lived in a room in her friend's house, okay? Well, Amberlynn never actually ended up giving the money to Beck, and Beck even said that this is supposed to give money to Amberlynn for Netflix.
I've had zero money. Other things like I owe for Netflix to Amberlynn.
Thanks for nothing.
Just my personal opinion. Amberlynn used to make around $200,000 at least a year. She no longer does, but she used to at that time. Due to Beck's involvement in the live streams, you not only didn't pay her, but you asked her to give you half of the money for Netflix. I think that that's beyond being petty. It's just my personal opinion. Now, another thing is, Amberlynn did financially support Beck, although I feel that Beck completely worked for the money, okay? What happened is Amber said, well, Beck now needs to pay, their way and whatever, when like part of the rent, part of everything, just because they dumped you, they did. Anyways, the point is Beck is probably hearting this comment. Snowflake would share more money than Amber ever did, to confirm what I've been saying for a pretty long time about this topic. Yes, Amberlynn took the money and did not give it to Beck. Amber, I would love to hear your version of events, which is probably going to be a lie. But by the way, just wanted to say, Amberlynn always comes onto YouTube and says, why do people say that I lie? Why do people always assume that I lie? Because you've made monetized content stating that you are a lie. If Maury was not retired, he would deduce that you're a lie. How could you have taken the money from your ex-partner who did everything for you, who drove you around while they were in renal failure, who literally gave up time with a dying parent for you? How could you have taken that money and actually asked for half of the Netflix? At the time, what was Netflix? $13? It's laughable.
It's
For a woman that was making $200,000 a year. Amberlynn, this is pretty disappointing, just my personal opinion. But yeah, so Beck is shading ex-Amber. And as far as the other, comment that Beck hearted about, well-deserved money for you. Yeah, I think that Beck should be paid for exposing Amberlynn. I do. So what? Let them be paid for exposing Amber if they so choose. I understand that they probably will not, expose Amber because they really suffered a lot in that relationship and they don't want to talk about it. Fine, totally respect their wishes. But if they do choose to talk about it, yeah, make your money. And here's why. First of all, every single person, at least in the United States Constitution, has an inalienable right to have a Kermit, and also to happiness, and also to have a no. My point here is this. Amberlynn has continued to monetize content about Beck. So if you don't know what's been happening, Beck has asked Amberlynn repeatedly not to talk about, Beck, okay? And what's happened is Amberlynn has not only ignored this, but said terrible things about them on Destiny's live stream, continued to monetize content about the proposal story, how Beck proposed, which was, in my opinion, done simply to humiliate Beck. The proposal story was not humiliating. I always have to say that. It's just that Amberlynn knew that exposing like private info, how Beck proposed, would humiliate probably Beck on the internet, because I believe that Beck was pretty private at the time. The point of the story is this. This all culminated in Amberlynn recently talking about Beck's deceased parent, and also continuing shading and trashing Beck on Insta. I believe saying that the date that Amberlynn had with Beck was like the worst first date ever. Yeah, wonder how they felt.
I know.
Also, even promising and threatening to take legal action against Beck if Beck said anything about Amber. Rinse, lather, delusion, Kermit, repeat. Okay, so moving right along. So there is a portion of the Amberverse, there is a portion of the community that believes that Beck only comes onto YouTube to make money, get donations, and then leaves and doesn't produce the content that Beck promised and all that other stuff. This is part of the community and how they feel, right? The majority, I don't think, feels that way, because I think the majority just wants Beck to heal from the relationship that Beck had with Amber. But a part of the community feels this way. And here is Beck responding to this comment. So Beck had posted a community page post on like around New Year's Eve that I talked about before. And here's what somebody said. And Beck responded to this. If you didn't take money from the community, then you wouldn't feel the need to give the community updates. Stop giving the illusion that you're going to start regularly posting when being on the internet obviously isn't good for your mental health. Beck said this, my mental health had nothing to do with YouTube. It's things outside of the internet that isn't good for my mental health. And that's why I stepped back, because I didn't have the capacity to make good content. I didn't ask for the help, but people cared when I was struggling, and honestly, it helped with bills. But if it were truly just, quote, grifting, I would have done more lives and put out content through the holidays, because that's when a YouTuber makes the most money. So you guys know I talk about this a lot, but November and especially December are the 2 months a year where YouTubers make the most amount of money. Usually your paycheck is doubled. I haven't been okay for the majority of 2023. I mean, who has really? My therapist was the one who said it was a good idea for me to take a break and focus on myself, so I did. I can't ever do YouTube full-time. It's just not sustainable. It's more of a hobby, because really, I'm no star and just an average person. So I would love for you to comment in the comments down below. What do you think about this topic? Wish Beck all the best. Obviously, Beck has not been doing well this year. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with the commenter that wrote to Beck? What do you think about Beck's comment and response? Let me know in the dislikes and Kermits down below. Right, well, that's about it for today's video. I wish everyone mentioned all the best. Thank you all so very much for watching today. If you enjoyed today's video, please check out this video that's popping up here. You may enjoy it. Go and watch it. If you like it, leave it a like. If you dislike it, be a friend and leave it a dislike. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you think about this video, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye.
What's your name, Fred? Do you know Amberlynn Reid? Do not try to come up to me and attack. Hey. Look, all of Amberlynn's fans. Hey, don't attack. Do not attack. You threw nuts at me? Excuse me, sir. You watch YouTube? You monetized? Under the new guidelines? Excuse me. Excuse me, do not try to attack just because I'm asking you about Amberlynn Reid. Sir. Ah, you've been watching Foodie Beauty. Look at this guy. Excuse me, I'm going to expose you on YouTube so bad. Look at him. He's been exposed. He's been exposed for requesting mukbangs. It's okay. Excuse me, have you been asking Amberlynn out on dates and then catfishing her and then ghosting her? This is the squirrel that ghosted Amberlynn. See? Come right up to me. Come right up to me and admit it. Step right up and admit you ghosted Amberlynn. You ghosted Amberlynn. Look at this. Ghosting Amberlynn right in front of our eyes. Oh, maybe it was you that ghosted Amber.